is Sandy Shellis and with Environmental Coffee House. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about tornadoes. So let's build up an audience, and maybe I can invite some people, while, like everybody else seems to do on their live streams. They invite people while the live stream is on, and I typically don't do that, but you know what? I think I might tonight. Let's see. I might. Let's try it. Let's see how it works. Okay. Hi. I've never done this before. I have never shared while I was live or done anything like that, but here we go. Okay, guys, I'm going to go back to my stuff. I don't know who's with us, but as you know, I've had a lot of lovely things happen to me. Well, to my husband. Had a motorcycle accident. Saturday, I have been out of town. And I don't have good lighting here, I'm sorry. I have been out of town staying in a hotel, which I'm at now, while he's getting better from having that motorcycle wreck. And they're not letting him out fast enough, at least not for me, because he has a broken neck. And I guess a broken neck doesn't mean that, you know, you can get out that fast. So today I'm sitting with him, and we're talking, and that's unusual too lately, because he has just been so moody, and I understand it. You know, I do understand it. When you're hurt like that, how are you supposed to feel? You know, it's not like you're sitting there going, zippity-doo-dah, I just love everything, life is great. No, that's not the way it goes. And I completely get it. But I'm reading to him off the internet today, and I'm doing what I'm doing with you. You know, I'm looking at the internet, and I'm like, geez, look at this. It says that there is a tornado watch. You know, but right in my little town. I said, this is really weird. So I'm thinking, nah, you know, come on. There can't be, there's just no way can I think that this is going to happen, right? That there would be a tornado. We never get tornadoes in New York. I mean, it says, the information I have says maybe 9 a year, okay? So it says they've been watching this since 1950. And it says, basically, you know, about 9 a year. And in my county, specifically, since 1993, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? 8 tornadoes. Now, I get on the news tonight, and I'm seeing that the news is saying that they have counted 2 tornadoes in our area. Okay, only 2 tornadoes in our area. Well, that's got to be a load of bullshit, because my house got nailed. My property is destroyed. My old growth, beautiful trees are pulled out by the roots. And some more news had said, well, there were inline winds that were like 70 miles an hour. But now, even though I haven't been there, because my wonderful brother, Tim Shellis, I'm giving you a shout out, my wonderful brother-in-law has been doing everything there. He went and took pictures. And the way that everything looks on my property is, there is no way this was straight line 70 mile an hour winds. Oh, I gotta hold this thing. It's gonna slide. There's no way. Oh, Roger just said Sandy just sent pics of Amish sawmill destroyed in Allegheny County. Okay, I'll have to see. I haven't seen. I was just doing a little research on tornadoes, and there was like since 1993, there's been hardly any. Well, anyway, if these people are going going to say that there was no tornado, that this was a straight line wind that came through my property, they are full of shit, okay? From what my brother-in-law said, this thing came in and it picked up my chicken coop, which has no chickens, thankfully, tossed it on the other side of the driveway. It took out old growth trees that I love. My trees. I bought that property because of those trees. And one of them went boof right on my husband's pickup truck. I mean, is that insult to injury? You know? Gets in a motorcycle accident. His bike is gone. We're sitting in the hospital, and we freaking get a tornado, and it nails his pickup truck. I don't know. You know, honestly, guys, I don't know what to think. But, of course, you know me. I have to research it right away. And it is not common. These tornadoes are just not common. And so I looked at it for an article, and I'm going to go through this a little bit to talk about this. And climate change, because I'm going to tell you, I think climate change is making these things happen, making it worse. It's got to be. But how in the hell did this happen to me today? To my house, with my husband sitting in the hospital, laying in the hospital, with a broken fucking neck. And my house gets devastated. The house itself has some siding missing, and the roofing, you know, flew off, and the deck is broken, a couple things, but it's the property. It's those trees. It's killing me. I cried so hard over my trees. And I have put pictures all over it. If you guys that follow my personal Facebook page have seen my property ad nauseum with pictures of the trees and the streams and all that, because I absolutely love it. So let's look at this a little bit, and then I'm going to say hi to everybody. So tornadoes in the U.S. are getting worse, and this is from Climate Change News a couple years ago. And says, with the numbers in any one outbreak and the hazard of ever more frequent outbreaks both on the increase. And although climate change driven by global warming from human causes is under suspicion, bullshit. We know that, okay? It's not under suspicion. If it's under suspicion, bullshit. I'm sorry. We know that it's not. Okay. So, and then I'm going to read some of these because some of these look good, like Roger's comment. But it says, climate change is certainly happening. New research published in Nature Communications has examined the pattern of outbreaks and found that the average number of tornadoes in any one outbreak has increased since 1954. And the chance of extreme and therefore extremely destructive outbreaks has also increased. An outbreak is a large-scale weather event that can last for days. All right, we didn't have this last for days, obviously. And then the article is talking about the devastating whirlwinds in the plains. Like where my friend Lee, who I know online, in fact, I talked to her today, she called me to tell me, because last year she lost her house in a tornado and it's all coming over. Now, what are you saying, Kenny? Because actually maybe you guys are more interesting than this article. I'm looking at it and it's a little bit... one consistent prediction within climate research is that as average global temperatures rise in response to greenhouse gas emissions from fossil fuel combustion, so does the likelihood that meteorological disasters could become more frequent or more violent, or both. Duh. Let's go back to Kenny. Kenny lives in Oklahoma, Tornado Alley, and the size of the tornadoes that they've been seeing have typically been E4 and 5, which was once very unusual. It is freaking scary. And what happened today in my house in Western New York, where, this is just unheard of, and I bet that this had to be an E2. It had to be. The way the trees look on my property from the pictures that my brother-in-law sent, it's craziness. So this article was, I think it's 2014, but they were talking about that the UN Office for Disaster Risk Reduction reported last year that the number of weather-related disasters has almost doubled. It does not mean that warmer years must be more calamitous, They said they were talking about the warmest record and, droughts that affected 50 million people. And now they say that there's evidence that tornado season is actually coming earlier. Between 2005 and 2014, tornadoes claimed an average of 110 lives in the U.S. each year and caused $500 million worth of damage. So, of course, I, being the smart aleck I am, I'm talking to the insurance company today. And the girl says to me, I call up and she says, I said, I had a tornado. And she said, where are you, Texas? I said, no, I'm in Western New York. Do you know, she pretty well did not believe me at first. I said, no, I'm in New York. And it was on the news and I saw it. I told her I saw it. And she was like incredulous. She couldn't believe it. So I don't ever waste an opportunity to talk about climate change. And I had this girl on the phone and I told her about what's going on in climate change. And I said to her, are your claims going up? And she says, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, they are going up since I've been here. I said, how long have you been there? She said, 5 years. And she said that she absolutely has been seeing a rise in the number of, especially these kind of things, these tornadoes. I never in my life thought that I would have to worry about this stuff. I really thought that I was in a safe area. We picked where we picked to live, thought it was safe. I said, geez, it's really cool here. And as I was talking with my husband today, when I was reading him that, the news report, he's like, well, we are surrounded by a lot of mountains. We typically won't get that kind of weather. And then what would happen? 20 minutes later, my brother-in-law calls and says, got some bad news. And I'm like, oh, come on, Tim, you're bullshitting me, right? And he's like, no. And I think if any one of you have been, I'm going to see if I can find any better information. If any one of you have been to my private page today, even on Environmental Coffee House, I shared it. I put the pictures, some of the pictures. Now, these are the pictures he took. I haven't been home yet, so I really don't know. I don't know what I'm going to feel like when I drive in the driveway and see those trees. My babies, my trees. And this is even more weird. And this is why I'm going to tell you this was a hurricane. This was no straight line, 70-mile-an-hour winds. Our garden wasn't touched, but the bushes that line the garden are pulled up by the roots. Then you look at my deck, and my hanging flowers off the side of the deck, nothing. They're fine. And then you look at the tree, a little bit over where the way it must have gone, and it's completely out over the truck, over my husband's truck. So it had to be a tornado because the bullshit that happened in my yard was no straight line. No straight line at all. Because it had to be circular, and to pull up those trees, it had to be going like this. But the garden wasn't touched, and the vegetables are good. And where my husband planted cherry bushes and lavender bushes for me this year, they weren't touched. So it had to have gone in the weirdest pattern. Because all I can think of is if it went straight, it would have went boom straight, my house would have been trashed. The house is not trashed. It's got, it's going to need work. And that's another thing. My husband is a roofer and a sider. And now he is not going to be able to work. And it is going to kill him to have someone come over and fix the roof and the siding. Because I saw the pictures of where the siding is off. He's going to have the worst time watching somebody else do the work. Because he's a perfectionist. And I'm going to have to somehow keep him away from whoever comes and does the work because it'll drive him nuts. But anyway, you know, again, I'm with this dumbass smiling stuff, but I can't cry. I just cannot cry anymore. I've been crying since Saturday. No, since Friday when I fell down the stairs. Oh, and here's an article from the Tribune. Tornado swarms are on the rise, but don't blame climate change. Bullshit. And let's see, tornadoes and climate change. What does the science say? Is climate change behind the rise in extreme tornado outbreaks? Well, I guess I'm going to have to do a little homework, huh? And let's see what people are saying. Michael says all trees eventually fall down to be used by humans, termites, or other critters. Well, Michael, they weren't ready to fall down. You know, I did a bit on this earlier in the season. The trees on my property, they actually got green 2 weeks later than last year. I took pictures and posted about it. And the trees that toppled over were not the trees that I was worried about. They were not in any bad shape. And Kat says, I'm so strong. It's awesome to see me in high spirits. Well, I'm not high at all, okay? My back is killing me. And I actually, tell you the truth, I thought about going to the hotel bar. And Cindy, you'll get a kick out of this because I was chatting with Paul online. Paul's from politics and stuff. And I said, you know, I really do feel like having a drink. And he's like, oh, I wish I could be there with you. I'm like, come on, you know. Of course, he's in another state. I didn't do it. Now, Cindy says the pics look like a tornado to me. Well, I'm glad I wasn't home. But I feel bad for my little kitties because there's another funny thing. 5 cats, and my brother-in-law goes in and he says the cat food was, you know, all over the kitchen floor. I can imagine they were in the kitchen eating. And you know how in cartoons you see the kitties, or you see them try to go so fast, blah, 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 they try to get out of the way and they can't move. Their feet are going 100 miles an hour. I can just imagine what went on in my house because the tree fell on the deck and the noise had to be insane. And Kim is saying how I could use a drink. I'm just, you know, I'm just worked up. I'm worked up, and you know when I get on with all you guys, I get worked up, and I always have lots to say. Because, you know, you're my buddies. But trust me, 20 minutes after I talk to you, I'll probably be in bed sleeping because I really am exhausted. Or maybe I'll take a muscle relaxer, and then I'll be like, because my back is killing me. I'm just surprised that I am getting through everything as good as I am. I will tell you I did have a weak moment, and I was chatting with Torstein Vidal from Norway, and I pretty well talk to Torstein every day, and I said, you know what, I'm kind of tired, Torstein. I'm tired. And he said, no. He said, no. He says, no, you are strong. You are strong. Well, how come I'm strong? Why do I always have to be so goddamn strong? This is what I mean. I'm strong. I guess I am strong. I just don't know why I'm always strong. I have always been this way through all the bullshit. And now I know I got to go home and I have to find someone to help all those trees. And, oh, there is one interesting thing. Already, there's an artist that is asking for one of my trees because he does tree art. And he said he would come get it. And he's going to do a piece of tree art. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I'm going to let that happen. I definitely want that. And I guess we'll have firewood for the next 2 years. And depending on, you know, global warming and climate change and how long it all takes for the shit to really hit the fan, maybe I can grow some more trees. And I don't think I'll be alive to see them in 60 years. But I guess we'll be planting some trees. Because I can't live without my trees. And again, I don't know how it is going to be when I get home. And what are you telling me, Kim? Read your comment. That I talk what? About talking to tornadoes in, what? In Holland? Oh, yeah, he said there was something like that. Well, yeah, the guy's teaching me about, I talked to Torstein because he's teaching me about the Arctic ice. And he posts every day in the Arctic ice group, and I want to learn everything about the numbers and the jet stream and all, so I ask him questions, you know? So, oh, okay, Kim. I don't know what one. I'm looking at the stupid phone. It's not like BeLive where I can do all that because I left the laptop at home. I didn't bring everything with me. Heck, I didn't even know I would be here this long. So anyway, I think one of the things we're going to do is, and Roger, maybe you can help me, and whoever wants to help, let's do some research on tornadoes and climate change. I really want to know. And I guess I need to know what kind of preparation now do I have to do for the home we live in that I don't want to leave to make it safe, because I really thought I was in a safe place. I thought that I lived in a safe place. And now I'm realizing that there is no place safe. There is nowhere that we are going to escape what we're doing to the climate and what we are doing to the earth. And I know it's getting serious. I'm getting serious. Because really, this is no laughing matter. And yes, Judy, I have a big-ass basement. Judy asked if I have a basement. You know what I have in that basement? I have a tractor, 4 Harleys, a refrigerator, a washer and dryer that aren't hooked up because I have the other ones upstairs, a refrigerator, and a freezer, right? That's only half. The other half of the work is the whole workshop, and then all my boxes. So yeah, I have a gigantic basement, but the part of it's underneath the ground and part of it's not. So I would not say that that basement is exactly the safest basement. And here's another little caveat. Me and my husband had been talking and laughing. He's like, he's buying I don't know if I had mentioned this to you guys. He's buying the back of a tractor trailer, he says, and he's going to dig it out in the backyard and put it underneath. I'm like, yeah, right. Our area, honestly, is so rocky. It's insane. It is very rocky in the county I live in. And so for me to do any planting, it's always 2 days worth of pain afterwards because I got to dig up rocks, and you know, with this back, it's always bad. But yes, Kim, the power was out, and I don't know if it's back in. And I asked my brother, my brother-in-law, to take the stuff out of the freezer, but he said it will stay for a couple days even if the power doesn't go on. We're not off the grid. But my little town is a municipality. Being that it's a municipality, we are our own little power producers. And we buy it from the grid. So, anyway, that's about it for today. You don't have basements in Texas, Roseanne, and you go to inner rooms. And yeah, isn't it funny? You don't have basements in Texas. But anybody, you know what, Kenny, and I love you all. It's like, I don't want people to say, oh, poor Sandy, because it's not poor Sandy. There are so many people way worse off than me. My husband is alive. My house did not get destroyed like Lee Hampton's did in Iowa last year. My animals did not get hurt. I have a brother-in-law that is wonderful, that's doing stuff for me. I have all of you. And everybody that's donated to help when my husband gets home. You know, I never look at myself and say I'm a religious person, but I am blessed. I have something. I have an angel following me. And having all of you and sharing out these live streams and talking, I'm never going to sit and say, poor me. It may hit me for a couple of minutes like it did today. You know, and I thought about, geez, is it really worth it? And I'm tired. I'm so tired. And then 10 minutes later, I'm okay. Because then I look at something, or I read an article, or I see somebody online, or somebody calls me, or I even look at my grouchy-ass husband in the hospital and I'm thankful that he's not dead. You know? And he has been grouchy. And it has not been easy. but he's getting better. And Steve says, I got you. Yep, I got all of you. But you all have me. And when I get home and back to my normal life, I'm going to get back to researching, and I'm going to get back to my climate science class from the University of British Columbia, and I'm going to get working on the climate show on Uphill Media. That's going to be on YouTube that we're going to do once a week, and Judy is going to be with me on that, and another gal named Kat and another gal named Bev. We are going to do a really good climate show. I'll be on here. And I'm hoping that everybody that has helped with the page, like Kia and Judy and everybody will stay, and I won't have to do the page every day like I used to, so I can actually do more. And Suzanne, hi, Suzanne has just joined. Suzanne was really nice, and she had said that she would do the GoFundMe, and I thank you. I just guess I'm a control freak, and I just wrote it out myself anyway. I figured it was really for my, it's really for my husband. It's so that I can make sure that I get the care for him. I can't lift the guy, you know. He's 6'1" and 210 pounds. I can't do those things. He is walking now, though. He walks to the bathroom in the hospital. He walks back. He's fighting with the physical therapist a little bit because his ankle is messed up, but, you know, but I'm going to need help. And everyone that is donating, I mean, I do cry, guys. I'm human, and I just can't believe the outpouring. And I will be able to get through because, you know, like I said, he was just getting a new job after being laid off 9 months ago. It has not been easy for us, and I'm not the person that can ask. I hate asking for anything. I hate asking. I hate asking for money. I hate asking for, I don't even like asking my brother-in-law to do the things he's doing, and oh my God, he even fixed doorknobs in the house. He says, where's the doorknobs? I'm like, oh, they're in a bag in the home office. He put them on. I mean, these things make me feel like, I don't know, just that gratitude. And grateful and gratitude and humility and all those good things, I guess that I have them. And I want to share them. And I hope my husband has more gratitude because he's alive. But I think when you feel that shitty, it's kind of hard to find it. But he's getting there. Saint brother-in-law. Yeah, Tim, if you watch this, I love you. You are my saint. And Tim is single, and I'm looking for a dynamite woman for him because I need a good girlfriend. I need Tim to get an old lady already. Oh, my gosh. Well, anyway, yeah, Kim Santino, Doug's walking. Yeah, he's walking to the bathroom. He's got to start walking, though. He's got to start doing more at the hospital because I really want to go home. I really do. I want to go home. I want to be home. I want to get back to life. Tired of this stupid hotel room, even though it was cheap, thank God. I want to go. So I'm going to let you go and say thank you and share this around so I can tell everybody thank you all over. And I guess I'll be showing you what happens when I go home, what it looks like, you know? Because my brother-in-law, he can't cut up all the trees yet because the insurance guy has to come. So, and, you know, there are things we have to wait for since the pickup truck looks like, you know, the back of it is just, the tree went right over it. So who knows? But I'm alive. I might hurt every day, and I try to ignore it and just live through it. Peace, guys. I love all of you. I'm going to try to say everybody's name. Kim and Roseanne and Suzanne and Kenny and Judy and Roger. And I swear this is girls' night. And no, we had a couple of guys and there was, who was Steve tonight, and yep, we've had a couple of dudes tonight. But this was, you know, a lot of times when I come on, it's ladies' night anyway. I am the girl's girl. Mwah. Peace. I love you guys. Good night. See you in a couple of days. Bye.